The giant Goliath and his brothers. Goliath, the infamous giant from the Bible, was a champion of the Philistine army. Standing over 9 feet 9 inches tall, 1 Samuel 17:4, he was a formidable warrior who instilled fear in the hearts of the Israelites. Goliath's imposing stature was complemented by his formidable armor. He wore a bronze helmet, a coat of mail weighing over 125 pounds, bronze greaves on his legs, and carried a bronze javelin slung over his shoulders. His spear shaft was as thick as a weaver's beam, with a head weighing approximately 15 pounds. A shield-bearer went before him, providing additional defense. 1 Samuel 17:5-7. The Philistine armor was distinctive, resembling a tarp layered with bronze rings from shoulder to knee, offering protection against sharp weapons. Clad in this heavy armor, Goliath's presence alone was enough to terrify any opponent. Confident in his strength, Goliath challenged the Israelites, taunting them daily. "Why do you come out and line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine, and are you not servants of Saul? Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subject." 1 Samuel 17:8-9. Goliath's challenge was a call for representative combat, common practice in ancient Eastern civilizations where a duel between two champions would determine the outcome of the conflict. For 40 days, Goliath issued this challenge, his towering figure a constant reminder of the threat he posed. Each morning and evening, he marched out, daring anyone to face him. 1 Samuel 17:16. Meanwhile, in the hills of Judah, a young shepherd named David was tending his father's sheep. Too young to join the army, David was unaware of the conflict between the Israelites and the Philistines, his primary concern being the well-being of his 3 older brothers who served in King Saul's army. David's father, Jesse, advanced in age, could not travel through the mountains. He instructed David to visit his brothers at the camp, bringing them provisions. 1 Samuel 17:17-18. David arrived just as the army was preparing for battle. He joined his brothers, eager to hear their stories. As they spoke, Goliath emerged, repeating his challenge. Hearing Goliath's words, David was filled with righteous anger. 1 Samuel 17:22-23. The Israelites were terrified of Goliath, fleeing at his sight. 1 Samuel 17:24. But David, outraged by Goliath's arrogance and insults against the God of Israel, boldly asked, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" 1 Samuel 17:26. David volunteered to face Goliath, confident in God's strength. He assured King Saul, "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him." 1 Samuel 17:32. Saul, concerned about David's youth and Goliath's experience, tried to dissuade him, but David persisted, drawing courage from his past victories over lions and bears. "Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them because he has defied the armies of the living God." 1 Samuel 17:36. Seeing David's unwavering faith, Saul agreed to let him face Goliath. He dressed David in his own armor, but David found it cumbersome. Instead, he chose his shepherd's staff, 5 smooth stones from the stream, and his sling. 1 Samuel 17:38-40. When Goliath saw David approaching, he ridiculed him, saying, "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" 1 Samuel 17:43. Undeterred, David stood firm. "You come to me with sword, spear, and javelin. But I come to you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head. This very day I will give the carcasses of the Philistine army to the birds and the wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel." 1 Samuel 7:45-46. With only his sling and a single stone, David ran towards Goliath, took aim, and struck the giant in the forehead. Goliath fell face down to the ground, beaten. 1 Samuel 17:49-50. David then used Goliath's own sword to cut off his head. The Philistines, seeing their champion defeated, fled in terror, and the Israelites pursued them, driving them back to their land. 1 Samuel 17:51-53. David brought Goliath's head to Jerusalem, powerful symbol of his victory and God's deliverance. Goliath's brothers. Some scholars believe Goliath was a Nephilim, a race of giants mentioned in Genesis 6:4. Others suggest he was a Rephaim, another race of giants from the Old Testament. Regardless of his lineage, Goliath's defeat underscored the power of faith over physical might. But Goliath's story doesn't end there. He had 4 brothers, all giants, who also challenged the Israelites. Ishbi-benob, formidable warrior. He wielded a spear weighing 300 shekels of bronze and a new sword. He sought to kill David, but was ultimately defeated through divine intervention. 2 Samuel 21:15-17. Saph. This giant clashed with Zekai, one of David's mighty warriors. Zekai, a skilled and powerful fighter, defeated Saph. 1 Chronicles 11. Lami, another of Goliath's brothers. Lami wielded a massive spear similar to Goliath's. He was defeated by Elhanan, the son of Jair. 1 Chronicles 25. The Unnamed Giant. This giant, notable for having 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, was defeated by Jonathan, the son of Shemiah, David's brother. 1 Chronicles 20:6-8. These battles illustrate the ongoing challenges faced by God's people and reaffirm that even the most daunting enemies can be overcome through faith and resilience. Conclusion. The story of Goliath and his brothers serves as a timeless reminder that faith and courage can overcome even the most formidable opponents. It also underscores the importance of vigilance and perseverance in the face of recurring challenges. God grants strength and victory to those who trust in Him. Lessons learned from the story of Eli and Saph. The story of Eli and Saph, though fictional, draws upon the timeless themes of courage, faith, and the power of intelligence over brute strength. As a reimagining of the biblical narrative of David and Goliath, it offers rich lessons that are relevant not only in ancient times but also in our modern world. From Eli's journey, we can extract several valuable insights that resonate deeply with the human experience. 1. Courage is not the absence of fear but the triumph over it. Eli, the young shepherd, is not a warrior by trade or experience. He is a farmer, a dreamer, and by all accounts, an ordinary young man. However, when faced with the overwhelming fear that gripped his people, Eli chose to confront that fear instead of succumbing to it. His courage was not rooted in physical strength or battle-hardened experience, but in his determination to stand up for what he believed was right. This teaches us that courage is not about never feeling fear, but about choosing to act in spite of it. True courage is born when we recognize our fears, yet we push forward to do what needs to be done. 2. Intelligence and strategy often outweigh brute strength. Saph, like his brother Goliath, represents the archetype of the formidable giant, an unstoppable force of nature. In contrast, Eli embodies the power of intelligence and strategic thinking. Eli understood that he could not match Saph's physical prowess, so he devised a plan that exploited the giant's weaknesses. By luring Saph out of his cave and into the sunlight, Eli was able to level the playing field, making the giant vulnerable to attack. This lesson is particularly poignant in our daily lives, where challenges can seem insurmountable. The story reminds us that with careful planning, creativity, and a keen understanding of our adversaries, we can overcome obstacles that seem far beyond our capabilities. 3. Leadership is not about power, but about inspiring others to believe. Although Eli was not a leader by title, he became one through his actions. His ability to inspire hope and determination in his brothers and the other soldiers was a crucial element in their victory over Saph. Leadership, as Eli demonstrates, is not about wielding power or commanding authority, but about guiding others with a vision and instilling in them the belief that they can achieve something greater than themselves. Eli's leadership was rooted in his empathy, his understanding of his people's fears, and his ability to turn those fears into collective strength. This is a valuable lesson for anyone in a leadership position. True leaders inspire and uplift rather than dominate and control. 4. Faith is a powerful force that can overcome even the greatest challenges. Eli's story is steeped in faith, not just in a religious sense, but also in his faith in his own abilities and in the collective strength of his people. His faith in God gave him the courage to face the giant, but equally important was his faith in the plan he devised and the people who executed. Faith, in this context, is the belief that even when the odds are against us, there is a way through if we trust in ourselves and the resources we have. This lesson encourages us to cultivate faith in our endeavors, to believe in our abilities, and to trust that, with perseverance, we can achieve our goals. 5. Hope is a catalyst for change. The atmosphere in the Israelite camp was one of despair and resignation before Eli's intervention. The presence of Saph had cast a long shadow over the hearts of the soldiers, much like the fear that can paralyze us in our own lives when faced with daunting challenges. Eli's actions rekindled hope among the Israelites, and this hope became the driving force that led to their victory. The story illustrates that hope is not just a passive feeling, but an active catalyst for change. It is what turns the tide in our favor, pushing us to take action when all seems lost. The lesson here is clear. In times of adversity, hope is not something we wait for, but something we create through our actions and attitude. 6. Resilience is essential in the face of ongoing challenges. The defeat of Saph was a significant victory, but it was not the end of the war. Eli understood that this battle was just one of many, and that the struggle for freedom and safety would continue. His resilience, the ability to keep moving forward even after a hard-won victory, is a critical lesson for us all. Life is full of ongoing challenges, and resilience is the quality that allows us to face each new obstacle with renewed strength and determination. This story teaches us that we must be prepared for the long journey, knowing that each victory is a step toward our ultimate goal, but not the final destination. 7. Humility and self-awareness are crucial for personal growth. Eli never sought glory or recognition. His primary concern was the safety of his people and the well-being of his brothers. His humility allowed him to approach the challenge with a clear mind, focusing on the solution rather than his ego. This humility is tied closely to self-awareness. Eli knew his strengths and limitations, which enabled him to devise a strategy that played to his strength. This lesson is particularly relevant in a world where arrogance and overconfidence can often lead to failure. By maintaining humility and self-awareness, we can better assess our situations and make decisions that are in the best interest of everyone involved. 8. Community and collaboration are key to overcoming great challenges. Eli did not defeat Saph alone. His victory was the result of collaboration with his brothers and the other soldiers. This highlights the importance of community and teamwork when facing significant challenges. No matter how capable we are individually, there are times when we must rely on others to achieve our goals. The story of Eli and Saph teaches us that by working together, leveraging each other's strengths, and supporting one another, we can accomplish far more than we ever could on our own. Conclusion. The story of Eli and Saph is a rich tapestry of lessons that speak to the power of courage, intelligence, faith, and community. It reminds us that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, there is always a way forward if we are willing to think creatively, act courageously, and work together. These lessons, drawn from a tale of ancient struggles, continue to resonate in our modern lives, offering timeless wisdom for overcoming the giants we face today.